Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geist the Sin Eater's second edition, Second Chances, episode 15. We think we have the audio fixed, so let's have fingers crossed. So let's get into it, can we? Today is Monday, December 4th, 2023. So what have you guys been doing in your downtime? Who wants to go first?
I can. All right. So, for day one, I went to talk with Myrtle about George. George is Josie's younger brother, also known as the prom queen. So, I went to talk to her because when we were at Kimball's the other day, we had mentioned Myrtle to him, and he goes, "Oh no, not her again." So I went to talk to her and find out what she knew. And she mentions offhandedly that she's questioned him several times over the years. He knew little about his sister's murder, but she does remark that as the last living McElroy, George has been having a difficult time for a couple of decades now. So I kind of feel bad for the guy, but I'm pretty sure soon I won't because we'll find out all the shit he's in. So, but anyway, day two, I went to try to talk to him, and he is not talk toable. Because after the giant scene with all of the ghost writing on the walls at the Kimball's big box store, Kimball's has been closed to the public. George is apparently hard at work inside doing something, and he's a little difficult to get a hold of. Day three, I decided, you know what? I need more fucking ghost friends. And I met one at the grocery store. He has a massive beard and a raccoon skin cap skulking and he's skulking around the grocery store. Um Sometimes you can see like a bargeist, like a dead chicken or the ghost of a chicken or something tethered to like, you know, chicken in the meat case. Um but this ghost is doing really well at calming them down a bargeist horse that's moping around the ground beef. So we're gonna make friends. Did we get to keep him, Kenny?
Uh, you are going to need to do some effort, but you
Hmm.
can. I'm
Thank
not
you for the
giving you a
follow,
free crew
disciple.
member.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
and
very
that's
much.
me.
But yeah, gonna need some effort, some talking to, and some dice rolls to add a new member to the crew. At some point, you're gonna get to the point where where the crew is large enough that growth becomes passive, but that is not to the point yet.
Okay.
Ah. Well, if I may go next.
Whoever.
All right. So, I spent a day with Old Man Houlihan working out, getting myself in shape, and getting him up to date on the ghost nonsense because he's the newest member of the crew, and there's been a lot going on. Um, he seems to have caught on out a second wind since the haunting incident at Kimball's. Whole town is talking about his son and Todd. Uh, Also, the ghost that everyone saw literally on footage, and also several people in real life. The actual full ass ghost that was wandering around and doing things. Um, Speaking of which, my second day, in addition to doing our usual ritual nonsense. Hello, thank you
Thank
for
you
the
for the
bits.
bits.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys make it so much easier to do this. Thank you. Um, the ghost, as I was saying, that was making a mess at Kimball's last week. I decided to spend some time with him in addition to running our usual rituals. Um, he calls himself the Thespian. Doesn't have a lot of memories of his life, but he was working hard to be a stage actor back in the 1920s. So we're gonna get to know him and try and help him get all the attention he truly craves. Um, and lastly, it was time for the big game for me and the IMCA team. And I burned every single willpower that I had, and also then cheated to finally win. For those of you playing at home, you are allowed to add either 3 dice or re-roll your dice with a willpower. I had to do that on every single one of an extended action rules. Still didn't manage it, and begged Kenny to let me use one of my ghost powers to screw up the enemy enough that he was willing to give me another roll, which I also used willpower on both of those rolls, and now am out. I got one to start the session because I slept last night, but I'm going into this a little dry. However, this does mean that the YMCA team that I'm in is going up to regionals. We are in into the actual competitive part of the amateur hockey leagues, and the games we're making have some actual stakes now. So, really promising. We also went up against a team from the same area that my school's hockey team's whatchamacallit, rivals play from. So essentially their local dad's team got kicked by our local dad's team, and I think they're super happy about that. Really in a great mood. Looking forward to taking them on in my coaching gig. Should be fun.
Alrighty. And tips?
Alrighty. So let's see here. So first day spent with the Chosen of Mammon and doing a bit of let's say tea time. And basically right now everyone is completely uh, abuzz with the events at Kimball's, and yeah, it's yeah, people are very um, interested in these murder accusations. Um, the second day, I introduced um, Myrtle and Old Man Houlihan. I figured they would have a lot to talk about, and they seem they seem to be getting along well. And the last day, I did a full 12-hour stream trying to get the world record for my speed running, and I did not succeed, although I did manage to get at least crack into to the top 10. So it's we're getting there. It's yeah,
Progress.
progress. Yep.
All right. So, uh, again, today's Monday, December 4th, 2023. Um, where are you right now, and what are y'all doing?
Nathan has decided to um, try to source a swimsuit. It is off season, so it should be relatively cheap if it's available.
I would imagine
Considering it's
that just
December.
I would also imagine that considering you're in a ski town in Colorado, it's always off season for swimming here.
Which should mean that bathing trunks are very affordable.
Just gonna have to
Uh,
find somewhere that's got them. Luckily, there's a. Unfortunately, the local Walmart alike it has closed for some reason.
Well, I'm not going to have shopping for shorts be an adventure, so you find them, I guess.
Perfect. I would like to get the pair with turtles on them.
Done.
Perfect.
All right. So, I've just wrapped up doing another coaching session for my team. We are getting geared up for the big game that's coming up this coming week during my next set of downtimes. And I'm gonna be trying to gear these guys up for taking on the prep school dorks that we have been having so much problems with. Thank you, Void.
Thanks. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you for the biddies.
And now I'm heading out to meet everybody because we are going to hell
In a handbasket.
in a handbasket.
And I'm gonna say I'm actually kind of hanging out at the hockey practice as well, getting more uh, footage with Ty doing his thing, and also uh, working on writing up some like interview questions for him and stuff like that.
We need to start getting some attention. If I don't get a
Mhm.
scout out here while the season's ongoing, I'm pretty much doomed. And so far, no bites. Um. So after that, we all gather up, I'm assuming, and we are going to head on down.
All right. Which Avernian gate are you going to be using? Is it the cemetery or somewhere else?
Hmm.
Which one do we have that's closest to
Note when we haven't actually like used, like we know where it is, but I don't think we've actually used that one. Remember that one that was also basically the trading hall for the local ghost community? I'm pretty sure
Oh, yeah.
Kenny mentioned there was a Avernian gate down there, and I'd like to know how that one works, just in case we need to do some mobility, you know?
Yes, please.
So if it's all right, that one.
All right. But in that case, before we get started, somebody roll me a chance die, and I don't particularly care who.
I will.
My luck right now is in the trash. So like somebody else. I got one good roll in like six.
Everyone cross your fingers. I'm talking to you too. One success.
Not bad for a chance roll. Okay, bear with me here just a moment. I closed out of my setting Bible because I'm a genius.
All right, so bear with him. Rawr.
Wow, that was the worst bear I've ever done. It was more like a cub. Rawr!
Anyways,
All
So,
right.
oh,
Oh, go on. Didn't mean to interrupt.
oh,
Players get to do what
oh,
they want.
oh no. I was just while you were looking that up, I was just gonna plug the Discord real quick. That's all. Go
Oh, I
ahead.
did.
anyways,
All right, to the historic St. Anthony's Chapel near the graveyard. Uh, Grinning Sam is, as always, presiding over the trading. Uh, and the group of you notice that he's currently being harangued by a familiar ghost, uh, Susie's grandmother. Uh, you can hear uh, you can hear her. You're a Geist too. You're stronger than a normal ghost. You can make him stop. Whoa, lady, says Grinning Sam, putting his hands up defensively, water dripping from his hat and face as he talks to her. The projectionist has been a good customer of mine, and besides, I think that he might very well try to eat me if I stopped him from getting a host. I've tried to get every ghost in this town to help, she says, but if none of you can do it, then I think there's one thing that I can do. Sam raises an eyebrow as the ghost of the old lady uh, descends through the floor.
yikes.
So, what was that about?
Grinning Sam rolls his eyes and says, I don't know. Maybe you know that old bat, but she's been coming around trying to get any ghost who looks like they have a little fight in them to try to get the projectionist to unfetter from her granddaughter.
I
No
mean, it's
one,
not a
no one
bad
wants to,
idea.
no one wants to fight a Geist. I don't want to fight the projectionist. I never really thought of him as much of a fighter until recently, but he's really protective of that little girl. He doesn't want anyone getting between him and the chance of making a bargain.
You know, I can see why that'd be threatening. I think we are gonna have to find him a better option. Or,
There are far better bodies to inhabit than a little girl with a heart problem. It's going to be a very short afterlife.
Grinning Sam shrugs. a heart probably more or less fixed after they make the bargain, he says. And after that, well, he's got almost an entire lifetime.
So wait, it can heal the heart? Because the heart is completely damaged. That's why this is happening.
Yeah, it's apparently like a genetic thing, so I would thought that the risk is that she'd die of natural causes and take him with them. Because that was pretty sure how I thought it worked. If it was like an injury, sure, but I don't know.
Well, all I know is what I've heard from the Mad Undertaker. I haven't been bound myself, but he says that basically old age is the only thing that can take out a Sin Eater.
Hmm.
That or their Geist giving up on him.
Well, that's worth knowing. Well,
So,
I think we need to intervene sometime soon then.
Mm.
At least we do know where a couple of people are likely to die in the next little while.
Yeah,
So
it's
maybe
true.
we'll have that conversation.
You see, the mention of untimely death causes a gleam to appear in Grinning Sam's eyes. So you say there's gonna be some deaths in town, huh?
Well, you do know about the serial killer, I'm assuming. You remember us.
Well, yeah, but by the time anyone gets there, the soul's already been bound into a tableau, and there's nothing left to, well, the ghost has, and there's nothing left to make a bargain with.
Well, there's a 50-50 chance. I mean, we know one of two places that's going to strike next, most likely. So you could
Uh,
just wait there and.
Not to
I'm
mention,
not really interested in making a bargain right now, but there's a good few geists in town who might be.
we'll have to
how
take a.
how much is the information worth to you?
He scratches his chin and says, "How about a trade? I did see hear from through the grapevine that you guys were messing around with that Geist that's stuck on stage at the bar and the Red
Yep.
Room they call it now."
Yeah, I couldn't get him to so much as look at me for more than a second or two.
Sam gives you his trademark grin as he says, "Well, if you give me the lowdown on what's about to happen, I'll give you the lowdown on why that guy's stuck. Is it a
Hmm.
deal?"
I think it's worth one of the locations.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk
Mm,
about the other one.
Gonna want both of them. This is a big one. We're talking about a Geist who'd be owing you a favor. Maybe he
Okay.
wants to join your crew.
You know
Okay.
what? I'm gonna have to talk to the boys here real quick. I turn around and have a very obvious conversation with you. So, what do you guys think? You think this is worth it? I don't know.
Well,
On it.
we could
I
Maybe.
mean,
always get this information from someone else for half the price that he's wanting to charge. So,
Mm,
can I roll presence plus persuasion?
Yeah, I was gonna say if one of you wants to roll to haggle,
I was trying to push
present.
this over to one of you guys. Yeah.
yeah.
So let me just give you a couple suggestions. For either presence or manipulation would work really well, all things considered. And in fact, I would allow composure, considering that he wants to actively haggle. So this would be a defensive role. And persuasion, streetwise, or subterfuge could be used depending on what you're going to do.
Well,
So,
I've got a 9 in presence plus persuasion.
The kicks the out of my 6 at best. So, like, you go.
Tibbs, you got anything good?
I don't have anything in persuasion.
I have a single die on that roll, so I'm not even gonna bother. You just
All
take the
right.
swing.
All right, I'm not going to willpower in case I have to reroll this.
Yeah,
Cross your fingers.
we are not
2 successes.
we're not trusting the dice today, people. We're not trusting the dice.
Not after both of you
Uh,
having shitty extended rolls.
Yeah.
all right. And I'll roll for him. So you got 2 successes, and he's got
Well,
I
I'm just going to roll his resistance here.
Out of character, I still think we should make this trade even if he wins.
I agree.
All right, he got 4 successes. He gives you a sly look and says, "Okay. So you think you can out-haggle me?
Well, it was worth a try.
You're
I wanted
lucky
to
I
learn
don't
from the
ask.
best.
sure
You're
he's
lucky.
sure he's going to be he would be a great ally to have, but at the end of the day, he's still a Geist.
Stuck where
So
he is.
stuck where he is. So the choice is either the status quo or a volatile a coerced ally who's probably highly volatile. So that volatility is going to affect the
Anyways,
worth of
anyways,
this trade.
anyways, it's very clear that our man knows the value of what he's got. And we do apologize for wasting your time. We just are trying to learn, you know, even though we are up against the master here.
So, you want to make the trade or not, kids?"
Sure. Show him on the map.
Yeah, I show him.
The murder sites that you guys are calculating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the 2 that would be next in line to form the circle, not all of them.
He doesn't get to see the full map we've made. We're just pointing on a map where they are. I'm sure that's something we know pretty firmly in character.
And let whoever you give this information to know that we can get them there for a price.
We're always happy to have another guest for dinner.
Interesting idea, he says. I'm sure that we could find someone who's someone who wants to take another shot at life. Okay, well, I'll keep my part of the bargain. He leans in conspiratorially and says, "Hey, back when that place..."
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for following us, Borodun.
Really appreciate the follow. Thank you. He leans in conspiratorially and says, "Okay, so when you were there, did you notice anything about what he was doing?"
He was standing on stage and he did once react to some music that I think was from the band he was in, but that's all I got out of him.
"Have you kids ever seen a ghost trap?" he says.
Like from Ghostbusters?
"What's a Ghostbuster?"
No, let's go with no. We have not.
Should I be worried about these Ghostbusters?
They're not real.
No, it's a movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't imagine it'd be popular here.
I haven't seen a talkie before anyway. So, the way a ghost trap works is when a ghost sees it, they're frozen on the spot. And they can be made for all sorts of specifications, including a specific ghost. I recommend the next time you're there, Follow his line of sight up to the boards around the ceiling.
Really? Okay.
Excellent. Hi, don't you work there now?
Yeah, I move some crates every couple of days. Something to keep my hand in. Just boss doesn't like me that much.
The Mad Undertaker might be able to tell you about the specific rite that was used to make that ghost trap. After all, he was half of the Sin Eater that made it.
Huh. And we know the other half. So that's fun. Hey,
Remind me what the other half is, because I'm dumb.
the
Undertaker.
your grandpa.
Oh, okay.
You're sorry, your great
Great.
grandpa. Sorry, my apologies. You know what I'm saying.
Ugh. Why is it always my family?
Uh, I'm sure we're gonna find out something
Never
fun
mind,
about.
we've got Tibbs here.
I'm just excited to find out what on earth my family has been doing in all this because we also made the list. So we'll find out. I just like I just like hockey. I'm doing my best. Anyways, thank you for your time, Sam. Hope whoever you end up dealing with enjoys the show. And you know, Sam, if you ever have something interesting to talk about, you're always welcome to come around for dinner. I'm sure that saving yourself some essence costs for a couple of days wouldn't be terrible for you. Anyways,
He shrugs and says, it wouldn't be necessarily be a bad idea, but I'm anchored here. So as long as I stay here, I'm usually pretty good.
I don't know, but maybe you'll catch
I
a
can
movie
anchor you
sometime.
anywhere.
Well, no. See if he stops by for supper. He can just roll around and not worry about essence cost or burn for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Pretty nice deal. Anyways, we need to get going. I don't suppose you know exactly where the Avernian Gate is around here. Picked it up once while I was searching around, but I was gonna head on down.
Oh, the basement, he said.
Much thanks, man. We head on down.
On the way down, out of his
Let's wait.
man purse. What?
Sorry, never mind.
Out of
Misunderstood.
his man purse, Nathan pulls out a large Ziploc baggie. It looks like it's been through some shit. That is stuffed to the brim with pairs of coins of all of the coins that his grandfather collected, that his grandmother collected, that his parents collected, that he's collected. Every denomination, every old thing, and hands out a few pairs to everyone.
I'm a little.
Out of character, it sounds like you guys have been reading.
No, Dee told us we needed change for the ferryman. Or someone told
Uh,
us we needed change for the ferryman.
Ah, I forgot that I might have mentioned that. Yeah.
Well, also, it's a fairly common trope too. So
Uh, I've uh, I've got some coins I use for the locker at the whatchamacallit, the at the hockey rink. We have to pay for our lockers because, you know, capitalism. Um, and I've got my bag slung over my shoulder, and I'm geared up for dealing with fun ghosty times. Uh, and we head on down. So, what does the gate look like?
The group of you traverse the crumbling stairs of the old church and make your way into the basement. Uh, like the rest of the church, the basement is an old stone room. except for the perfectly circular hull taking up the majority of the space of the on the floor. Cold air seeps out of it, and looking down, you cannot see uh, where it ends. There are the remains of some old markings cut into the floor around it, but time has worn them away to near illegibility.
All right. So I remember.
As Go on.
I thought you were done talking, so I was going to start trying to solve the puzzle. I'm going to wait till I hear the rest of your talking.
Okay, fair enough. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Notice immediately that you're not alone in the basement. The ghost of Susie's grandmother in her hospital gown, fluttering around her, is staring and into the void, looking down into the Avernian gate. You guys get the feeling that she's trying to pluck up her courage.
Hello, ma'am. Um, so I take it the issue with the projectionist is going poorly. We're gonna figure out a solution for him. I do apologize. We haven't had any ideas, but I know things are getting worse. We're gonna sort it out for you. I think I have a couple ideas to negotiate with him.
Ectoplasmic tears creep down her uh, blue translucent face. I've been in, I'm anchored to her. So I've been in the room with the doctors, and I can hear what they're saying. They don't think she's going to make it another week.
Ah,
If I don't want the projectionist to anchor himself to her, if I don't want the projectionist to make the bargain with her, and no one else is willing to try to kick him out, there's only one other option.
got it.
Can you take me to the river?
Are you sure that's what you want to do?
She nods defiantly.
Are you sure you're gonna be you when afterwards?
I don't know, she says. Your Geists manifest, taking the chance to join the conversation. Uh, Be Aggressive is perched on Ty's shoulder. The prom queen is floating solemnly just behind Nathan. And Meathead appears beside Ethan. The viscera of his destroyed skull orbiting rapidly. He appears mildly upset by the idea.
So, I'm not going to tell you that you can't succeed, but I would like to take a moment and discuss with you what happened to the last person who went down specifically to try and solve this exact sort of problem for someone they cared about. Be Aggressive here, after they died, dove immediately into the sticks and came back up, and we have been struggling to get them to remember anything about their life before this. Isn't they barely even understood why they came back up, why they were trying to solve the bargain. It is possible you will forget what you were trying to do. We will help you, of course, in whatever form you take. We will bring you back to your granddaughter. I can promise you we will do that for you if you come back up from the water. But it is a big risk. I am happy to go talk to this man for you and try and solve this, and if not, I will personally escort you back down here. Will you give me that chance?
Be aggressive chips in, motioning at her throat with her clawed hands. River hot. Throat still hurt. So, are you going to try to talk her out of it?
Yes. Guys,
All right.
is that a yes or a no from y'all?
We're going for it.
Debs, you cool with that?
Yeah. Ethan has a different sense, but he's gonna go with the group on this.
What's your opinion, out of character?
Out of character, I think it's a terrible idea. Ethan,
Sorry, what does Ethan think out of character?
as long as they go into it knowing the possible consequences.
There's a reason why, if we can't talk him down, I'm willing to personally escort them in one of my off days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the projectionist cares less about being allowed to become alive again than sorting out a specific goal, and honestly, we are already working on that one. I'm pretty sure it's one of his fucking descendants that he's after, the person who was responsible for his death. That guy I was inhabiting the body of during the whole movie thing. I think.
Conan Doyle.
Yeah. I think one of his descendants is at least mixed up in this nonsense, and I certainly would like them to go away. So, if that is what he wants, if he wants to go after the Doyle family, absolutely. We can help him with that. I'm happy to fucking sort that out for him.
Alright, so I'd like to at least roll to try to convince her to allow us to give it a shot first. And if we fail, I'll gladly escort her.
All right. This is going to be an opposed roll, so you guys can chip in for assistance if you want. I'm thinking presence or manipulation plus persuasion, or maybe expression.
Would this also be considered de-escalation?
Probably.
I have 10 on that roll.
I'm more of an expression guy than a persuasion guy, so
I am volunteering to get in front of a very pissed off Geist and fight them for this person. Am I allowed to try and pull on my root servant to get a willpower out of this?
Sounds good to me. Makes sense.
All right, thank you. Then I will throw 4 dice at this to try and help.
All right. I'm not going to give you a penalty, but I am going to give her a bonus.
Okay.
For determination.
Here's my 1 die. It is the best I can do.
Thank you. Tibbs, are you assisting?
You are muted.
are we doing presence or manipulation on this? Because we have to use the same dice pool.
Presence.
Okay. In that case, I have 2 dice I can throw at this, so not a luck die. Nope, I do not help.
Totally fine.
As long as it's not a chance die, because dramatic failure's the problem.
Yeah, dramatic failures take dice.
Yeah.
1 success. Let's hope she fails. Cross your fingers, guys.
All right.
Roll off.
Yeah, that is a bit of that is an exact tie. So let's do a re-roll, just a complete re-roll there.
Okay.
Roll your 11 again. This is a dramatic scene, so
3.
Nice.
I
Nice.
swear to God, if it's 3 again.
Less than 3. No!
All right, let's do it. Let's do this. One die, whichever's
Okay.
higher.
I swear to God, if they tie, this will be the funniest thing.
6.
2.
Hey.
Yeah!
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you succeed.
Woo!
Jesus Christ.
After a very heated debate.
Clearly, this could have
That
gone either way.
Whew.
that woman wanted to jump down the fucking hole.
We're still on board with the fucking whole plan. We just, want to try every option before the fucking hole.
Ghosty go down the hole.
So, guys, day two, we're doing this one. I'm putting that in conspiracy chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have a conspiracy chat. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What do you mean?
We've never had a Discord channel where we conspire against our DM. Why would we ever do that?
Susie's grandmother averts her eyes from the Avernian gate. Okay, she says. One more chance. I know that you guys went to talk to him. It didn't make any difference. If he doesn't agree to back off after this, I'm definitely doing it. I do not have enough essence to keep him away and keep her alive.
Well, I promise you that if we can't sort this out in the next few days, I will personally escort you down. We all will. We will be there and we will make sure you come back up.
Okay. She drifts upward through the wall, disappearing, leaving you with the Avernian gate before you.
Suppose we should have probably asked if they knew how to open this thing. Anyways, who's got an occult roll worth a damn? Could somebody take a swing? Because I don't.
See here. Intelligence plus occult?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I cannot assist. Woo!
5
Exceptional.
successes?
Somebody remind me to put a dot in this one of these days. I can't believe I'm this far into the game and I still have 0 dots in occult. That just feels like a mistake I have made.
Well, I suppose learning something about the occult lore of this wacky fucking town would make sense.
Nah, we just hang out with ghosts every day.
Okay. So Ethan examines the hole. The Avernian gate is definitely closed, but there is absolutely a very deep hole here, and it is unnaturally smooth. This hole, to be in this church's basement, would have to have been here since the second attempted settlement, since at least 1835. There's no way that this was made with power tools or drilling equipment that didn't exist. But that means that if there was supernatural power in the creation of this hole, then it's likely to have a very simple key. It occurs to you that this church was called St. Anthony's Chapel back when it was first built. And it hasn't seen active use since the early 1900s. It occurs to you that there's one very obvious way to open an Avernian gate in a church.
I kneel down and pray.
Oh, I was gonna throw wine in the hole.
We'll get to that one, but let's try some basics.
I mean, do we have a goat with us?
I don't think it's that old-time religion.
Oh, okay. Okay. Eh, we'll give it a shot if nothing else works.
I kneel down and pray, try and see if I can't get the thing to respond. Mumble some vague words I've heard in church and end with an amen.
You hear a vague snatch of piano music drifting up from the bottom of the hole, wherever that is. The cast-off floor that is no longer there reforms over the hole itself. Translucent blue stone, revealing the fresh carvings around the circular hole. They glow blue, as bright as the day they were first carved.
I don't know if we are ever going to have a reason why we might wish to leave a hole in a way that we break it on the way out. But if we ever do, this is the one. This is way too easy for someone to accidentally set off.
I'd like to take a picture of all of the runes to show to Dee later.
Someone roll intelligence plus academics.
Oh, I've got 3 dice in that.
I'll go 4.
A weird thing for me to say.
I can assist.
I will
Who am I
assist.
assisting?
How's your int plus academics, smart boy?
Quite a bit.
All right, so
Alright,
I'm
we're
helping you.
assisting Tibbs.
Assist. 1.
Nice.
Ty said something
Hey.
clever for once.
You get an additional 4 from me.
Okay.
So that's a total of 5.
Well,
I'm just celebrating the fact that I got to. So we know.
Tibbs is like, oh yeah, I watched a YouTube on this yesterday.
Ethan immediately recognizes that that the carvings, while blocky, are written in Latin. And thankfully,
I know Latin.
you've been so
It's
someone
literally
here
on my
knows that.
character sheet.
Yeah, you took
Excellent.
language, didn't you? So what does it
So you-
say, Latinet?
It says, "By the power of 3 masks, we beseech thee to descend into the inferno."
We need to fuck with that one somewhere safe.
Does that count as a clue?
Yeah, I do need to rejigger your clues, but let's call it that. And we'll make this a clue for the greater Whispering Peaks investigation.
Awesome. Hey guys, one of these coming days, how about we sit down as a family and do a greater let's figure out what cases still exist and, like, make a blueprints notebook sort of thing out of it.
Yeah.
For those of
All
you
right,
who
just
haven't
let me-
played blueprints, If you really like puzzle games, either dive in full in it or run away because it's going to kill your soul. It is devouring. I lost a whole month to this game.
Yeah.
All right, that
All
was by the
right.
power of three masks we beseech thee to enter into the inferno, right?
To descend into the inferno.
To descend.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, well, we descend into the inferno.
Stepping onto the cast off floor, it immediately smoothly, slowly begins descending into the hole. You watch as the stone of the church floor gives way to dirt, then rock, and deep down. You can feel a jolt of cold run through your body as you make the switch from the mortal world into the underworld. Now you can, in the darkness, you can't see, but you can feel that the area has opened up around you. You're no longer in a downward tunnel. You're descending directly from the ceiling of the underworld.
Jesus, it's just like a fucking plateau. Tableau.
Step lively, step lively. Come on, come on. I help everybody else down. This amount of physical labor is pretty standard for me.
The three of you eventually touch down on the ground. You find yourselves in Old Town, the rich section of Purgatory Junction that you visited once before when the first tableau descended.
Huh. This is a very convenient location for dropping into Purgatory Junction. How unfortunate that for once we are not actually doing that. Elena, you coming down, Grandpa?
So did you guys bring Honest Monty with you?
Yep. Sorry, but that was part of the plans of the day, so he can help us get places.
I'm genuinely, we forgot to mention that but that's literally been the whole plan for this. I'm so sorry I forgot to say something. To be fair, he does kind of have to hover around
Nathan.
So
Knowing that he was going back into Purgatory Junction, Honest Monty has decided to fetter himself to a random piece of gear in Nathan's pocket or school bag and hide it within it.
Water bottle!
we are heading right out of Purgatory Junction to whichever way is towards, our goal. I'm assuming we talked to Monty a little bit about wanting to visit where his friend Screamer had been encamped. So I assume we got some information about that.
Before we leave, just a quick intelligence plus, let's see. I think academics would work here too, yeah.
I don't know if it helps, but the water bottle that my grandfather is tethered to does have like one of those clip-on compasses on it.
That's fun. All right. I'm afraid Smart Boy is going to be taking another lead, but I'm really liking the idea of Ty actually helping, and he isn't.
Nathan helps with one.
Three successes.
Hell yeah.
After reaching the bottom of the underworld and setting foot in Old Town and watching the ghostly cast off of the church basement floor disappear, Ethan notices two things. One, The area that you're standing in is conveniently shaped like the St. Anthony's Chapel and the area around it, and that the buildings around that look to be made of the same type of stone as St. Anthony's Chapel, just in much better condition.
Oh. Oh.
Clue me in.
Ty turns to the person who's got a better idea of correcting him. Ethan? I think I got this one.
Okay.
I think they dropped the ghost of that place down with whatever ritual when they made the Avernian Gate. Because it looks like this place is just that place again. But before it went to shit again.
I mean, isn't that how cast-offs work?
Yes, but it shouldn't have a cast off if it's still around.
Unless it was rebuilt.
I don't know the history of the place, man. But, like, it's weird that it's, like, precisely down, but the Avernian Gate connecting them, maybe it's kind of like. I don't know. I thought I had something.
Can I phone a friend? Oh wait, we're in the underworld. It doesn't work down here.
Anyways,
Um,
Ethan, do you want to check whether I have any idea what I'm talking about against your in-character knowledge? Because I think knowing how Avernian
Yeah.
gates are made might be useful and also might help us figure out what all that ritual nonsense was.
okay, yeah. All right. So, intelligence plus occult.
Sure.
2 successes on that one.
You do know that Avernian gates open anywhere significant that's connected to death. Usually, every single cemetery has at least one, and they're also common in places like funeral homes and hospitals. Um, but you do remember at least a little bit of your history.
Mm-hmm.
Whispering Peaks was settled 3 times. The first 2 times, the entire town vanished. The first time, you remember a little bit that after a particularly harsh winter in 1780, most of the inhabitants of Whispering Peaks were cut off from trade and unable to grow food and either died of starvation or resorted to cannibalism. At least that's what's in the history books. And at the second attempt in the 1830s, when when a bit when a when the winter made the roads impassable, the story goes that in spring of 1835, when a caravan of traders arrived in the town for the first time since the following winter, the entire town was abandoned, and half of it was just gone, to the point that there was warm food still found on the tables.
Huh. Wild.
So shortly before the traders showed up, the half the town was pulled into the underworld, from the sounds of it.
That sounds pretty wild.
I mean, you can visually discern a cast off. Well, not in the underworld. You're right. Uh, I was going to say you can visually discern a cast off from an actual non-destroyed object, but not in the underworld. I recommend that you poke one of the nearby buildings.
I do.
Yep,
Use a
that's
hockey stick.
I'm gonna use my hand. I'm a very tough boy.
yep, that's a stone wall, all right. Not the ghost of a stone wall. That's stone.
Uh, when they said this town was going to hell, apparently it has happened literally before. I wonder if. Of course, Dee knows that, but I'm going to see if they know that anyways. Maybe I can get them to slip about something else they know if they do. Um. Anyways, this is super interesting, but we have some stuff to get done today, and I have no idea how long this trip is. You guys did bring water, right?
Yep.
All right, let's get going. In my bag, in addition to some actual water, I also have an empty pair of gallon jugs. I decided to get twice as much as was asked for because I figure there has to be some use for it, and I am interested. Also, who knows? It might be good trade with her if we can't use it.
So you're leaving Purgatory Junction?
Yep, heading towards wherever Monty said Screamer's camp was.
So, after you've left Purgatory Junction, Honest Monty unfetters himself from the water bottle and climbs back out, brushing his clothing off as he takes a step onto the good, honest, gray bedrock covered in moss that is the floor of the underworld.
I do apologize. We were just figuring out where that gate went. Who knew it was the actual convenient one?
He shrugs and says, well, no harm, no foul. I would just appreciate if we give that gate a miss on the way back in.
No problem. We've got like 4 others I know of, and all of them are outside the city.
I don't want to test Gilt Skull's generosity.
Honestly, neither do I, and pissing him off is not to my interest at the moment. So, let's get moving. We've got Screamer's Camp to find. So, I guess the real question is, Monty, do you know what the Ocean of Fragments is?
Not particularly, he says, but I have heard stories that they're at the bottom of the underworld where all the rivers meet. There is a sea.
Well, if we can't find anything else, we'll just follow the river. Presumably it will lead to the sea. We know where the rivers are. But let's see if we can't find a lead on Screamer first, because we really need his help.
So, is that the guy's name? You know this guy?
We know him by reputation and description.
We know his niece? Let's go with niece. I don't know. I don't know the relation.
Co-worker is the only thing I can be absolutely certain of. But he apparently has been kicking around for several centuries, so I don't think he's got any living relatives. Unless they're like descendants. Fairies are so weird, man. Let's get moving.
So Honest Monty explains the path that he usually took. If you go southeast, following the bank of the Styx through the Wood of Suicides, the campground where he met his contact was right across the river from the Hill of Sisyphus.
I'm going to ask a very stupid question, but is Sisyphus at the Hill of Sisyphus, or is it just called that?
Monty shrugs, says, I don't know which one is him, but there's a couple hundred ghosts there.
Rolling boulders up and they come back down, I assume?
They take turns.
Oh, well, that's nice at least.
Yeah. Unionize that torment.
My contact at the campground said it was a natural tableau.
Okay.
Natural.
Ty opens a notebook that he has in his terrible handwriting. Stuff Ty still doesn't know about. Writes the word tableaus in large block letters. A handful have been scratched off.
So,
Interesting.
usually I would make you roll for navigation, but you have a guide.
I'm sure we will still have to roll for navigation later, but we will at least get this far. So, uh, what's it like going through the forest of suicides? I imagine it's cheery.
As you guys follow behind Ontus Monty, you notice that the ground starts to slope downwards ever so slightly. Not yet downhill, maybe a bit of an incline. After a couple of miles of following him outside of Purgatory Junction to the point where you can barely see the town, you come across the first vegetation you've seen except for the springy moss of the underworld floor. Pale blue grass, then bushes, and even trees. The bark is damp and cold, but it's a tree. As you walk into it, the underworld gets even darker with what light there usually is from the various uh, sources, such as luminous fungi being obscured by the leaves of the trees. Here and there, you think you can see the shadow of a body hanging from the trees. But
Um,
as you pass each and every one, you do notice a small bronze plaque on each tree. A quick glance confirms that each one is a suicide note.
Well, this is unpleasant. Um, Ty, after realizing what's going on, where he is, and the general vibe of the area, um, well, he's not willing to, like, attempt to build a gleeful mood around him, attempts to keep everybody moving, marching at a steady pace forward and trying to keep everyone going along. Definitely seems like a place not to stay.
Honest Monty pipes up and mentions that this is another tableau from what his contact told him, and that it's usually considered fairly safe by most of the ghosts that live around here, or at least live in Purgatory Junction, with the exception of ghosts who died by suicide. Ghosts who know that they died by suicide avoid the wood because it's extremely easy for them to get caught within the woods and become another tree.
I very carefully reach over, lay a hand on Nathan's shoulder, and keep walking very steadily forward. There is not quite a full grip on their shoulder, but it's firm enough.
I'd like to say that Nathan doesn't notice what is going on. He is busy in his bag searching for a glow stick, but he keeps moving as with Ty's hand.
Eventually, the crew passes through the Wood of Suicides. It seemed to be a fairly small patch of vegetation, maybe about 3 times the size of a football field.
Once we
And
get
once again,
out there, I turn to Nathan and say, please don't go there on your own. I
I
don't
guess I
know.
did. Holy crap. Okay,
I
yep,
don't.
nope, get it.
I don't know if how technically that counts, and I don't want to find out.
Honest Monty shrugs and says, "Well, you're alive currently." So he shrugs.
Hey man, I
Look,
don't know.
look, I'm new to this whole thing.
You and me both. I've been dead for about a month now, and I've spent that entire time hunting a serial killer. It's been a real trip.
Only about a half mile more, and you find the area that Honest Monty points to as where he met his contact. Across from across the river Styx from there, you can see a small hill, and as Honest Monty promised, there's a line of at least 100 ghosts uh, circling the hill. At the front of the line, a ghost steps forward to push a boulder up the hill. It takes about a minute, and when they reach the top, they're unable to push it up, and the boulder rolls over them, crushing the ghost beneath it and coming to rest at the bottom. The ghost silently stands up and rejoins the line at the end.
Ty looks at this, nodding, and after a moment, a small quirk of a smile appears at the corner of his lips. So is this what the speedrunning community is like?
take a look. Mm, no, no, I don't see anyone trying to like take notes or do math.
Fair enough.
And and there's
Work
no
themselves along the edges.
and there's no weird analogies in the discussion on this.
Worth asking.
You also notice that there is a small wooden bridge across that leads from the campsite area to the hill of Sisyphus, and a few meters away from the foot of the bridge on that side of the river, there is what appears to be a dock.
I reach into my pocket and jingling the quarters. I swear to God, if the ferryman's literal, I literally don't know how to deal with this anymore. But at least he'll be convenient. But first, let's check that campsite, because I think that's what we're explicitly here for.
Yep, just wanted to describe the area.
Absolutely. We head on in. Ty breaks out a flashlight and starts searching around.
The campsite area is fenced off with a fence made of wood and chicken wire with a little gate that latches from the inside. It isn't hard for any of you to reach in and unlatch it, but it seems like it would be difficult for something not human to do. Within, were you raising your hand for something,
No?
Lex?
Oh, I was adjusting my headset, sorry.
Okay. Within the fenced off area, there is a new-ish, modern-looking camping tent and a fire pit made of stone. Uh, the fire that's within has long since burned out.
Is there any wind?
No, there's no wind here.
I walk over to the fire pit and I'm going to make a wits plus survival roll to see if I can even get a stab in the dark as to how old the ashes are.
Okay.
I took a dot in survival. I'm going to take my shot here. I have cold weather survival on here. I feel like fire making is probably a big part of that. Will you let me grab the extra die for it?
And it is pretty cold here.
It certainly is. Um, Thank you. Sorry, this is probably the only role I'm going to be able to help with in the investigation. I'm trying, guys. So that's wits plus survival. 2 successes.
You'd probably guess that this fire went out about a month ago.
All right.
Are there any sticks?
So this appears to be an investigation to figure out what happened to Screamer here. Do we want to roll this like a clues thing, or do we want to just swing at it and see if we can't figure out the answer?
Oh. Um. Clues?
I was asking the GM because it is his show.
3 clues to figure it out. The fire is certainly a clue.
All right, smart people, your turns.
All right. What's inside the tent?
All right. Inside the tent, you find a sleeping bag, a small plastic table with a lantern on it, which is turned on but has no light shining. It's appears to be a battery-powered lantern, and half a moldy sandwich. Beneath the table is a backpack that appears to be closed and full.
I stare at the moldy sandwich, realizing there are living bacteria down here and not sure how to process that. But no, dead bacteria would work the same. Bacteria have Ty sits down and considers the complex realizations that this implies.
What's in the backpack?
You want to open it up?
Is it gonna bite me? If it's gonna bite me, I don't want to open it up. Otherwise, yes, I would like to.
If you want, I will open the mimic for you. Ty carefully opens the backpack, lest something happen to the more squeamish sorts here.
Look,
The
I only have
backpack
2 hands.
The backpack contains a handful of survival tools and supplies, like some sort of like like a box of the type of soap that you can use when you're living in the woods, for cleaning things, clothes, and yourself. Um, a couple changes of clothes, uh, a grappling hook, and several crampons for climbing. A pair of cleated boots, and a leather-bound journal that is locked.
We have keys.
Let's try everything else before we pry into that, but absolutely. Does that... I'm gonna go check. I don't know if that works on non-doors. Let me check.
It said lock.
It's been a minute. Sorry. We haven't had to use that at Ritual in a while.
Are there
Anyone?
are
I was just going to ask if anyone else wanted to do this, so go ahead, Tip. Sorry.
okay. I'm thinking I want to look around for signs of not of I want to see if I can do an occult roll to see if there was any like creatures or anything like that that interfered with the camp or anything like underworld uh anything from the underworld that interfered with what was going on at this camp is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So 3 successes.
The sleeping bag and the area around the campsite is covered with something that's very easy to miss. A, a thin film of translucent blue slime, long since dried. You realize that you're looking at the remains of ectoplasm.
Um, wasn't weren't there there's a thing, the chthonic beings or
The
something.
Chthonians.
Yeah, the Chthonians. Didn't they like excrete that?
They
Mm-hmm.
do, yes.
So it's likely they've been in here, even though there was some effort taken to keep them out, but it's been some time. The good news is there's no signs that he's been, like, taken out here. He's just not been back.
Hmm.
Was that our second clue, Kenny?
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Okay.
Okay. You got any clever ideas, or am I swinging into the dark here? Because I think at this point we've got the journal and somebody else being smarter than me.
Um, you said basic survival gear, right?
Hmm.
Does that include like a mirror?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, we know how ghosts work. We know how fairies sort of work. I call Screamer's name 3 times in the mirror.
So you want to use that one ritual that you
Yeah.
guys have?
Yep.
See if he counts as a ghost for the purposes of this while he's down here. Who knows? Wouldn't that be funny?
Right, well, nothing happens.
All right.
I will give that to you as a clue. You've confirmed he's alive.
Okay.
I reach into my pocket and grab one of the key blanks that we started picking up after discovering that ritual, and grabbing it with my thumb, I break off all the teeth on it.
All right, since you got the 3 clues for this, you've solved the investigation. So before you open up and read the journal, I'll let you know what you 3 have figured out.
Okay.
All right. Between the fire pit and the film of dried ectoplasm, it's clear that this campsite has been undisturbed for about a month. No one has set foot inside of it. And the use of the ritual with the mirror confirms that Screamer is alive. Well, you don't yet have enough information to know where he is or what he's doing. You can confirm that he at least wasn't dragged out of the camp violently, especially since he didn't bring his backpack full of survival supplies. You get the idea that he must have left for a short trip somewhere where he didn't feel that he needed that and then never came back.
So the short trip got long without warning, which might mean he's trapped somewhere, or that he did not think it was worth coming back, so perhaps he's pursuing something he can't stop following, or whatever. Either way, something's got him stuck. Yeah, I'm... Does somebody have resolve plus investigation greater than 3? Does anyone have better than a 3 on that one?
I have a 4.
Will you perform the ritual? I've got a bloody key for you.
Tip 0. All right. While he's getting the key ready, I take a stick and write in the ashes around the fireplace, I want to rent a DVD, please. And then I go do the ritual.
All right,
Just in
make
case he
your
comes
rolls.
back. Well, it's gonna be a small one.
That's actually a great 8 code. That was really clever.
Thank you. I'm gonna willpower and reroll.
For those of you who don't know, Screamer runs a horror movie rental place as a front up top. So this is a clever way of indicating we need to meet him back at his home base if he beats us back here.
All righty. So you've made the roll and succeeded. So that means the skeleton key has been successfully created.
In the course of an investigation, sometimes people's privacy rights have to be violated in order to help them.
All right. So what are you going to do with it?
We open the lock on the journal and see what the most recent pages say.
All right. Who wants to read it?
Fibs.
Eidetic something memory.
Yes. And while I'm reading through this, I'm also going to be keeping in mind any coding, like analog encryption techniques and stuff like that.
The handwriting is immediately familiar from the other journals that that Lucy let you borrow. The journal is about 1/3 filled in, with the last date being about 4 weeks ago, early November. Paging through, you read a few excerpts here and there. Lucerne's boss says that he's been looking around this area for an old ghost and not having much luck. He mentions that the dead are not usually very welcoming to the living in the underworld, either suspicious at best or hostile at worst. So he's been getting information via selling food and other random objects that he's brought with him from topside to any ghost who's willing to bargain uncommonly cheaply. Because what he's going for is the conversation, not whatever random piece of trash that the ghost brings in.
Hydrate.
Oh, hydrate. He says he's been visiting several different nearby river cities. Purgatory Junction is the closest, but there's a few others alongside the Styx and the Sanzu that he's been visiting regularly. And so far, not a whole lot of luck. A few more pages in, and he mentions that he's been able to confirm that the oldest ghosts in this area of the underworld are about 300 years old, which means that the person he's looking for isn't present. He also mentions checking over the ghosts trapped in the nearby tableau and has confirmed that the person he's looking for isn't in either of those. His last entry says that since he hasn't found anything here or in the nearby river cities, he's planning to go deeper to talk to the residents of nearby dead dominions. And then he's going to pack up and go topside for more supplies. Uh, this should take maybe a couple of days tops, and I'm not going to have to do any climbing or anything like that, so I'm going to leave the supplies at home, he mentions.
Alrighty. Does he
Sorry, was there a location name in there?
And that's pretty much it for the journal.
does he mention any of the domains he was specifically going to?
Let me see. I'm going to roll a chance die real quick. Nope. He just mentions that there's a few dominions he's seen around here. So he's just going to try them one by one.
Okay. Uh, Last thing. It looks like this place has been mostly undisturbed because there's some things here that would have been stolen if, like, ghosts got in. Well, obviously, some Chthonians have been through. It might still have some signs left over. I'm going to look for footprints, the most recent ones I can. Would you accept a straight up perception roll? Wits plus composure?
Sure.
Would you like assistance?
Sure.
Two.
2. Thank you for essentially rolling for me, Lex.
All right. You don't see any recent footprints.
Hey.
Thank you, Takeda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the show.
The footprints that you do see, you would guess, are about a month old.
Yep, those are the ones. Do they point in any particular direction?
Out of the campsite and across the river, you would guess to the dock.
Well, let's go to the dock.
Gotta go there anyway.
As you guys step out of the campsite,
Carefully closing it behind me.
you notice the sound of something hitting the ground from high up. A small puddle of viscous blue slime. Looking upwards to see what dropped it, you see a flying creature, a human skull attached to a spine and pair of arms, with wings woven of finger bones, with thin, leathery stretches of flesh. The whole thing is dripping ectoplasm as it flies.
I go and grab the plasm. It's free plasm.
Filthy dirt plasm. You're gonna eat it right now, or gonna bottle it for later?
I need all the juice I can for it right now. Topping back up.
All right. Have a point of plasm.
Thank you. Listen, I'm already mixing this stuff in with my protein powder. I'm used to the flavor being terrible and chalky.
So you wanted to go across the river?
Yep. We're gonna go up to the dock and see if we can't get the ferryman's attention.
You follow the footprints across to the bridge. They disappear over the wooden bridge, but reappear at the other side. And as you believe they go straight to the dock, the wood of the dock doesn't hold any footprints, but there is a couple of benches to sit on.
Is there
You've pretty much reached the end of the trail.
is there anything like a bell or other signaling apparatus here, or is it just a dock pointing out to the water?
Just the dock pointing out to the water.
Well, um, having no better ideas. Oh, sorry. Somebody else raised a hand. I'm gonna shut up.
Nope. Sorry, I just need to make a note that I am refilling my atomizer here.
Your atomizer?
Yeah, I remember the first time we came down, I had a little perfume atomizer that I filled with water from the river.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd
That
like to just refill that.
All right. Well, you've got time.
All right. And I'm going to sit down on the bench and just take a deep breath and just focus in for a little bit.
Not sure if this will do anything, but having a couple of bucks and quarters and no better idea, he walks over to the edge of the dock and flicks a pair of coins into the water and sees if that summons the ferryman or something. I don't know. They never say what you do with the coins.
It does not. However, you do notice some sort of bony fish-like creature in the water snap up the coins the moment they plunge in.
I very carefully step away from the water, having been reminded that the Chthonians in the water are extremely dangerous. Um, do either of you guys have a better idea than chilling out here for a few hours and seeing if someone comes by?
Mhm. Do I know of any stories that summons the ferryman?
Not that I would know of offhand, no.
Okay.
All right. Uh,
Did I remember to buy? I didn't. Okay. Nope, no ideas from me.
Ty pulls his homework out of his backpack and gets to work.
So
Uh,
the crew decides to wait. Is that it?
I figure if we've not seen anything in like 2 hours, we will probably have to figure out another solution, but like, we've got nothing.
um, I'm I might as well try see if I can do something useful here while we're waiting. Well, theoretically useful. Um, Now I remember that I had hooked up a uh, network and was able to find a ghost version of Ask Jeeves. Um, I'm going to kind of put out a not a worm but uh a bot that that's just going to kind of start mapping the internet down here.
Ah, just one of those spiders, the like Google
Yeah,
has.
that's that. Yeah, that's the word spider. Yeah.
So
So
where did you set up the server again? Because you did something to set that up. I remember that. So I do remember what you're talking about.
yeah, I think it was back in Purgatory Junction.
I'm gonna say that you're definitely close enough to still be able to connect. So
Hmm.
yeah, you're able to begin the process.
Okay.
So the
We
crew waits.
we've literally made up a ritual to make keys, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we. That one is one that we knew from just starting the thing. The only ritual we've made up is the one with the mirror.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Because I was literally sitting here thinking maybe we could like create a ticket and put coins on it, and that would summon the ferryman.
I mean, if he doesn't show up in a little bit, maybe we'll try throwing some occult dice at it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I could try to do.
So I guess the first
Um,
question is, after I've gotten my homework done, has anyone shown up?
The crew decides to wait. Time stretches interminably. The only thing marking the passing of minutes is the line of ghosts silently moving at the hill of Sisyphus.
In between math
Event-
problems, I cheer them on.
Eventually, in the distance, you hear something in the water. Out of the darkness, you see a lantern atop a small boat. This boat looks to be roughly the size of a small sailboat. There's a couple sets of benches on the boat that look like altogether could handle about 20 people. And the a indistinct figure steers the helm of the ship. The boat glides to a stop at the dock. You see that the ferryman has passengers. Several get off the boat and leave, brushing past you on the dock without actually bothering to say hello. Two passengers remain on the ship. The ferryman turns its head to look at you, and it is pretty much the only way you can refer to it. In your experience, as a ghost loses essence, they become more indistinct eventually. First reverting to a more corpse-like rotted form, and then eventually uh, a hazy, indistinct human figure. The ferryman reminds you of that, but yet is very different. Because while the ferryman has nothing in the way of distinguishing features, in the same way that a ghost with weak essence does, the ferryman is also uh, very vivid and solid, like a ghost who has strong ghostly essence.
So more like a mannequin then, like a human shape without distinction, but very clearly outlined.
Yes, a human shape is the way to refer to it. It wears a raincoat and a hat to keep water off of it, but there's no texture at all to its skin and nothing at all, no features on its face. No eyes, nose, or mouth.
We climb aboard?
As the four of you board, the ferryman silently holds out its hand.
Did you bring coinage?
I handed out coins to everyone.
hey,
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
following.
you.
Okay.
um,
Um, go ahead.
I I reach into my pocket and put 8 Chuck E. Cheese tokens in his hand. Look, this place operates off of memories. Those are from my 8th birthday.
2 quarters.
I take four of the oldest coins that I can find that match in my bag,
Do you
just in
remember?
case.
I speak to the figure and hope that he'll respond. Where did you drop off the last living person who got on here?
The ferryman wordlessly takes the coins and puts them in its pocket, irregardless of whether they're legal tender or Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Uh, the ferryman stares silently at Ty, cocking its head.
The He would have gotten on here about a month ago and gone to one of the dead dominions. Could you take us there?
Can we describe him?
I certain we can. We've been told what he looks like in significant detail by Gus and Co. Hello.
So, okay. So that's where you're asking the ferryman to take you?
Yeah, I think so. Final answer, guys? Anyone
I mean,
smarter
we've
than
got
me?
to.
Yeah.
We do still have to go to the ocean, but that's at the end of all the rivers, so
I imagine that we just get back on the ferryman thing and
yeah.
head there next, wherever we go. But,
Mhm.
and if we run out of time, that's just we'll have to bail out and follow up on leads later.
Yep.
Anyone here speak Spanish? I don't, unfortunately.
He was just asking how we are, that's all.
We're doing great. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. The destination having been requested, the ferryman uh, shoves off from the pier and begins sailing down the river Styx. There are two other passengers still on the ferry.
Do they talk to us? Can I wave hello? Can I say hi to them?
Sure. The two passengers that are on the ferry. There is an old woman with ragged tears in her flesh. She's wearing an old pink bathrobe, and over top a flannel nightgown and fuzzy slippers. And in her lap is sleeping a small Bargeist kitten. Weren't you the one who requested this one?
Yes.
On the other side of the boat, there is a ghost with the mottled skin of someone who drowned, wearing a pair of blue shorts and a pair of water wings. He has close cropped hair and is dripping water occasionally. Hey, sit down, he says. Y'all, you three look alive, and you got a ghost with you too. Interesting.
Yeah. We came down to make some friends and see some sights. Nathan reaches into his bag and grabs out three of the ghostly uh Nutrigrain bars. Do you want blueberry or strawberry?
I ain't picky.
Nathan hands them one each just randomly then. And one goes to Monty.
The old woman looks at you and says, Blue Trunks is right. You three are alive. What are you doing down here?
You seen any other living folk around here about a month ago?
The ghost in the blue trunks, the one that the old woman called Blue Trunks, shrugs and says, Fuck if I know. About a month ago, I was trying to talk my way into heaven, but they kicked me out. So I've been looking for another dominion to rest in peace in. He giggles to himself at his joke. They wouldn't let me into the Elysian fields either. So I'm just trying to find the least nasty domain that'll let me in.
Fair enough.
I'd stay away from trying Valhalla with the water wings.
I don't really remember, says Blue Trunks, but I think I might have a shot if I can find where Valhalla is. I remember shooting a few people. Hey, bada bing, bada boom.
Fair enough.
Hey, I'll trade you a good memory for your any memories you have of your grandma's pasta sauce recipe.
Do you actually want to do that?
Yes.
Sure, Blue Trunks agrees.
I give him a memory I have of fishing with my grandma and grandpa
No, we
when I
actually
was
just
4.
have like one unspoken for good memory in the pool.
Oh,
If you
cool.
just want it.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that
All right.
down.
The old woman responds to your question as well. She says that about a month ago she was in one of the river cities nearby, not Purgatory Junction, but she can't really remember the names of this one, because she's been to about six or seven and since she died. She does say that she remembers briefly passing someone who was alive, but she didn't stop to talk to him because she was busy.
Fair enough.
I've been looking, she says, for a particular dominion. I believe that it's called the Rainbow Bridge. It specializes in bargeists, the ghosts of animals.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I was hoping they could at least take the little one, she said.
Can I pet him?
Sure.
Nathan reaches out and pets the ghost kitten. Um, does Nathan have an allergic reaction? This is very important.
In the underworld, a ghost is perfectly solid, so yes, you would.
Fuck.
I mean, out of character here. Solution would be to have a ghost cat not in the underworld.
Smart. Okay. As for now, Nathan takes a non-ghost half dose of Benadryl.
So what I'm hearing is we need to go see if PETA has any headquarters nearby. Sorry, did I say that on camera? Anyways,
Whew. Anyway, moving on.
grim jokes. Anyways, sorry, I wasn't allowed black humor in the ghost in the ghost show we're doing. I'm doing my best here. Okay, we're obviously the ferryman has been less than forthcoming. So I guess we're just gonna see what the first one he hits because it sounds like he was just gonna try everything. So maybe we just try them in the order the ferryman hits them.
Is the ferryman any more forthcoming after I give him a nature grind bar?
No, the
Okay.
ferryman doesn't respond to anything but offers of money and a destination.
Okay.
Well, he did take our destination, so maybe he is literally taking us there. I don't know. Maybe this works like a bus. Maybe this works like a taxi. We'll find out.
Uh, I'm gonna be while this is all going on, I'm gonna be sketching the ferryman and the weird fish things and whatnot. Kind of just kind of keeping a like a la old school naturalist style sketching and stuff like that.
I guess we let time pass until something happens.
All right, bear with me a moment here.
So at some point we're gonna actively track down this what'd you call it, the Rainbow Bridge? We're gonna actively go looking for that, right?
If we have time.
Okay. That seems like a very important landmark to know where it is.
Seems like a fun day action.
Yeah.
So you want to track down a dead dominion for animals?
Why wouldn't I?
I mean, on one hand, surround yourself with adorable animals. On the other hand, it is kind of a sad place overall.
But if I go there, then they won't. Then that means that all the animals there will have more pets. So less sad.
Fair
I
enough.
think that's
I
what this ghost lady's hoping for too.
yeah. I'm morally obligated to find this place and give as many pets as I can. I mean, that's just
Fair
how
enough.
it is.
I can't argue with that. That makes perfect sense. Anyways, Kenny, so what happens when the bus stops?
Yeah, eventually, the ferry stops at another dock. So,
Mhm.
sorry, I just didn't plan for you guys to go uh after the screamer literally right now.
Oh,
No worries.
sorry. It seemed
Why don't we pick the screamer up on another day and finish our way down to the ocean?
because genuinely, I thought that he was in one of the nearby dead dominions, and we'd stop in and pick him up on the way to where we were going. But it sounds like this might be a little bit more complicated than we put on. So, how about we follow this? We take the bus to the end of the route, as it were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it makes sense in character for us to realize that because we've heard 6 dead Dominion names in the last 5 minutes. It sounds like this is going to be a bit more of a search than we thought.
Yeah. So let's so upon hearing the half a dozen names, we ask to to be dropped off uh on the shores
Of the ocean of fragments.
on the ocean of fragments. Yeah.
We update
All
our
Specifying
right.
we update our destination with the re with the ferryman. I hand him some more coinage if he asks for it.
All right. So the ferryman comes to a stop at a dock. Uh, there is a road that passes by the dock and go and goes in several different directions. Uh, Nearby that you do see that there is a gate, but when you change your mind, and ask to be taken to the ocean of fragments instead, uh, the ferryman wordlessly pulls away from the dock and taking coins from each of you for the new destination and continues sailing.
Hey, Ethan,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a 20 from you after this.
Okay.
Sorry, but I have the change machine only takes bigger bills at the thing. I swear it's just a fucking mess there.
I literally have a giant bag of coins.
Yes, but yours are actually valuable. I have $quarter that you can pick up in bulk.
You could just say quarters. It is colloquially accepted.
Eh.
Eventually, you notice that you are going downward. It's not the gentle incline of the that you had noted previously. You are now going downhill.
Did he say down? He
He
said
chose
down.
down.
After a while, the ferryman stops and lets off the old lady. Another interminable period of time later, he lets off the ghost in the blue trunks. He mentions offhandedly that he's going to try his hand at Duat and then waves goodbye to you and heads off.
Good luck. How do I
That sound
spell duat?
that sounds like a dangerous idea for him, but okay.
That's the Egypt. Egypt.
Yeah. That's where if your heart is too heavy, the uh I forget their name, but one of the Egyptian deities eats you.
Emmett. Emmett. I knew this one. I think.
Yeah.
Wow, I know a lot of people who are going to love that one. Never mind.
But the ferry keeps going after Blue Trunks is let off. Down, down. You notice where rivers cross and meet. Every once in a while, you pass another boat captained by another faceless ferryman. They are usually dressed in something nautical looking, but everyone you see is different. As you continue sailing, you see lights in the distances here and there, hanging against the cavern walls. You realize just how vast the underworld must be. Your ferryman continues going down in silence. Eventually, after what feels like forever, you reach a black sanded shore with water that stretches off into the darkness. You can't see the other side, and not just because there's some mist on the ocean.
So this is where everything goes, huh?
The ferryman nods, but doesn't speak. He it steers over towards the dock, wordlessly tossing an anchor into the sea below, waiting for you to disembark.
I climb out and reach into my bag. Um, I'd prepped a few things earlier. Some cord, uh, a dumbbell from my home weight set, an extra one that I don't use as often, and a empty gallon milk jug that has been cleaned out. I walk over to the edge and tie the weight to one end of the cord, give it a little bit of length, another to the handle of the milk jug, and then give myself a little bit more cord, and then toss the assembly out into the water. This should force the lip of the jug underwater without me having to touch it. Because I don't know about you guys, but this looks really fucking creepy and I don't want to touch it. Touching the river water in all of the other places was incredibly dangerous, and the things living in them were incredibly dangerous. This is where all of those mix. I don't want to go under.
Are there any shells on the beach?
Shells, no, but you do see, having washed out of the surf here and there, about as frequent as seashells would be on a terrestrial beach. Random little bits of, looks like crystallized light in various shapes. You think you see one that looks like a dice. You think you see another that looks like a ring.
I'd like to take some.
Kowalski, analyze. Sorry, Ethan, could you throw in... could you throw a cult was the word I
Yeah.
was trying to get out of my skull at it. Because
Well, first,
this seems important.
yeah. Well, first, I'd like to see if I, without having to, after I pick one up, do I know what it is without having to roll? First off, are these mundane? I guess is the first question.
They do appear to be mundane. You pick up the one that looks like a ring,
Mhm.
and you hear briefly in your head a voice saying, "My name was Molly." Otherwise, nothing happens.
Okay. Okay. Knowing that, now I'm gonna try the occult roll. 3 successes.
You haven't heard much about the Ocean of Fragments. It doesn't seem to be something that ghosts like to talk about. But you do remember hearing someone say at some point that its waters wash away who you are and just leave something behind.
Oh, so these are like physical memories.
Maybe pick a couple more up.
Um,
I start picking them up.
I'm busy filling up the water jugs, so I'm gonna leave that to you guys. Speaking of which, has anything terrible happened to me for trying to do this?
All right, so you pop the whole assembly underwater, right?
Yep. Basically, it's a weight to pull the air-filled jug under the surface, which should let it fill up neatly, and then I just tug everything back up.
Are you underwater at all? Like
This
waiting or anything?
This whole assembly is designed so I am standing away from the water and can do this without making contact with it. That is the reason I am doing this. Because Ty, while not very clever, can at least put together, what if you mix all the bad things together?
All right, so you are not touching the water. All right. After pulling, nothing has happened to you. You're not touching the water. But after pulling your little contrivance up, you notice that all the markings and textures from your weights in the jug have vanished. It's as if they were completely plain and smooth.
I put the cap back on it very carefully and set it at the jug over to the side to wait for it to dry a little bit before doing anything else. After it looks like the water's run off of it, I untie that and go get it at the second jug to repeat the process. Not very exciting, but this is actually why we're here. So
Is there any wood on the beach?
There are occasional pieces of driftwood. If you want to look around, I'll let you guys do a perception roll.
Yeah, can I do that?
Okay. Ethan is feeling rather introspective today. So he's actually, while all this is going on, he's actually sitting down and sketching and dr he's doing an art of everything of the beach in an exacting of detail as he can. Um, can I do an intelligence plus expression roll?
Makes sense to me. Nathan, meanwhile, has done a perception roll. There are some pieces of driftwood that you've seen on the beach, as well as on the shores of the nearby rivers that let out into the ocean of fragments. There's so far you're while they're so I'm tripping over my own tongue. While they are a significant distance apart, with each river mouth being somewhere between a few hundred yards to half a mile or more, just in your field of vision, you can count about 20 different rivers uh, letting out into the ocean. There's also many of the fragments that you noticed on the beach there as well.
Do we happen to notice any Avernian gates?
No. You do notice one other thing of note. At the edge of your vision, as far as the what light you have can help you see the shape of what seems to be a ghost sitting on the beach, staring out into the water.
Can we go say hello? Or can I go say hello?
If you want.
Okay.
you should go do that.
Nathan wanders over to say hello.
The ghost that you're looking at, he looks like he's a man, early 30s, late 20s. You don't recognize him, so he wasn't someone you knew. But you notice that as he stares out into the ocean, he's biting his lips like he's making a decision.
What you thinking about?
When you speak to him, he jumps up a little. And they go, oh, someone's here. He looks at you and says, "Oh, sin eaters. I didn't expect to see sin eaters here."
Yeah, we were just coming for some water.
Oh, you're gonna bring it topside with
Yep, I don't know why, but a confectioner would like some water from the um,
Ocean of
ocean of
Fragments.
fragments.
you? Oh, a necromancer, huh?
Yeah, pretty knowledgeable from what we can tell.
He looks out over the ocean again and says, "When I was alive, I was a necromancer.
Really?
It it didn't pay off.
How's it doing for you in death?
Well, we're about to find out. But you guys are here, so could you do me a favor? Do you have any rope?
Yes, actually. I mean,
Yeah, we've got some,
that's what I'm working with over here. So like,
and not just that, but I think I've got 100 yards in my bag.
Would you guys tie the rope around me and after the count of five, pull me back out of the water?
Uh, the
yes,
suicide forest is back that way.
yes, if you'll explain why.
Why would anyone go to the ocean of fragments? I want to get rid of some parts of my identity.
Do you choose which parts you get rid of?
No, I was just going to jump in a few times and see what happened.
What parts are you trying to get rid of?
He looks back out over the ocean again and says, "Look, I don't know if any of you practiced the dark arts while you were alive, but there's plenty of things that you can do in with necromancy that don't hurt anyone. But there's also a lot that you can do that does hurt people.
Got it. So, would you like to instead try and help people?
Ask me again after I'm done."
If you want, but guess what I'm saying is I know where the you that is now could probably do a lot of good.
The ghost seems to consider it briefly, but then shakes his head and says, "I've made it all the way down here and I'm going to do this. If you're going to help, help. If you're going to preach, do it to someone else."
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
I pull
uh,
up. Sorry, I pull up the water and come on over to be enough muscle to handle what we are about to do here.
So do the
so
other two if you want to help.
yeah.
Before we do, now I want to help. I'm going to help you out with this, okay? Before we do, for my own curiosity, can we try something? Okay?
Sure, what do you want to do?
Literally dip a toe in first.
The ghost rolls his eyes and says, "I don't think that'll be enough, but hey." He goes down to the shore of the beach, takes off a shoe, removes his sock, puts his toe into the water, counts off 5 seconds on his hands, and then pulls his foot back out. You notice the toenail is gone. Not gone as in ripped out, but gone as if there hadn't been one. just a smooth expanse of skin on top of the big toe.
I think I know what happened to the ferryman. This has been enlightening.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't think that's enough, he said. Are you guys going to help me now, or should I just jump in?
A deal was a deal.
Nathan Nathan takes the cotton rope that he has in his bag, and ties a harness, a quick and dirty full body harness, over the shoulders, under the rib cage, through the leg holes, etc.
All right, we'll say that that gives. Actually, I'm going to have to make you to ask you to make a roll for that, because if so, we're going to use that as equipment to give you a bonus to your roll.
All right.
So, can I ask you to roll? Let's see. I believe that would be wits or dexterity plus survival.
Would you consider a a wits plus socialize roll?
For
Okay.
tying a knot.
Yes.
Wait, which one of you was the Boy Scout? Did I remember one of you saying you were a Boy Scout? Neither of you? Okay. Alright, then this is me doing that, because I have survival. Does no one else have a dot in survival before we go on?
I have one in survival, but
Okay, so I've got 4 dots for the wits plus survival. Do you have better than that?
1, 2, 3. That's what I have. I have 4. So
All
do you
right,
want me to
so-
assist you?
Either way.
I'll assist you.
I'm staying out of this one.
2.
Alright. 4 successes.
Yeah.
So Nathan assisted and you made the roll?
Yep.
Mm.
All right, take a +1 on this next roll. Do you all want to assist on this?
Yes.
I believe this would be either strength or stamina plus athletics.
Alright, straightforward question. You guys, which stat of those is higher for you guys? I know
Stamina. Sorry, go ahead.
Jeff, finish what you're saying.
I know neither of you have athletics worth a damn. That's not your job. But which of those 2 stats is higher for you guys?
I have 2 stamina and 1 strength.
I have 3 stamina and 1 strength, but I also have meathead.
Well, great. Stamina was the best answer because I have higher stamina. And honestly, it feels more right for what we're doing because it's literally holding on to a heavy weight. I don't have a good joke for why I can call hockey in on this. I'm not going to try. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to waste everyone's time bullshitting. So here's what we're going to do. If you guys will make your rolls to brace me, I'm going to pull this man back out of the water. Alright, so between the equipment and you two, that's going to be a grand total of 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 plus 4 from stamina plus 5 from athletics. That's 13. I want to leave the re-roll as an option over grabbing 3 extra dice on 13.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the better choice here. Because I pull him out exactly at the count of 5.
Congratulations. First off, you guessed what I was going to do. We were going to be talking about timing rather than the ability to pull him out.
I am probably about twice this man's physical weight. I can pull this man out.
So, as you hold him under the water, a few sparkling fragments of light wash up onto the beach. A handful. Every second you hold him under, a couple more wash up. Around the 5-second mark, you pull him back up. The lines on his face have visibly gone away. The markings on his clothing also washed away. He opens his eyes and takes a deep breath. He smiles and says, "Okay, I think that worked. I feel better."
Can I have done something where I didn't want to interrupt you talking, but would have had to happen before he came up out of the water?
What?
I turned, while he was not capable of hearing me, to the man with eidetic memory and looking at the fragments coming off of him. Grab those when he stops looking at them.
Already planning on it.
He knows which ones they are. He saw where they went. It might be useful in figuring out whatever we've lost here. Anyways.
The ghost, still dripping with water, uh, smiles and hums to himself as he wrings out his clothes as best he can.
I politely but firmly step away from him as he dries himself off.
Well, it's nice to have met a crew of sin eaters down here, he says. But I think it's time for me to find somewhere to rest in peace. I'm going to go around and see which dominion looks the nicest.
So, remember much of what happened topside anymore?
I know I used to be a necromancer, and then I died, so I know a lot about what the underworld's like. So it'll help me pick out a good afterlife.
Sounds good. If you're having any trouble with that, you can always try going topside. We'd be happy to bring you with us.
Yeah, I don't know why I'd go back up there.
Fair enough.
I hear that the Rainbow Bridge is brilliant.
Hmm. I do think I had a dog when I was a kid. Hey, maybe they'll be there.
Have a good time, man.
The ghost waves
Oh,
and
hey,
heads off along the. Yep.
what do they call you?
The ghost taps his chin and says, "You know what? I don't know anymore. How about you guys call me something?"
The Traveler.
Okay, sounds as good as any. I'll let people know that's my name, and if you want to come looking for me, um, I'll be somewhere in the Dominion or maybe a river city if I can't find a good one.
We'll find you.
Have a good time, man. So,
Smiling, he waves at you and heads off along the beach.
scrape those up.
Yep. I pick up the the shards.
Great. You have a handful of them.
Mm.
When you poke them, you can hear the ghost's voice in your head. Uh, each little geometric shape of light comes along with a different statement. I am a murderer. I killed for my own benefit. I am a failure. I could not keep myself alive. A few other more innocuous statements, like the ghost's favorite food and favorite color, are also amongst the others.
Well, so much for hoping we might get some necromantic knowledge out of this, but, you know, he seems happy.
I I I pocket one of the more innocuous ones and throw the others back.
Make a perception roll,
All of us or just him?
all of you.
3 successes.
One success.
3 successes.
You toss the rest of the fragments into the water. You watch them drift down, and at the edge of the light, you see them fall into what looks like a lobster trap. It's attached to a rope that goes off into the distance. Just at the edge of your light where you can barely see, something huge and pale pulls at the rope, and the lobster trap scuttles through the water.
Okay, This is obviously extremely dangerous. This is the dumbest idea I've ever had. Can we go see what's at the other end of that rope, guys, or should we run away from that?
The rope is
Let's
underwater.
Oh, it's the thing is underwater that's pulling this down. Oh,
Yes.
no. I misunderstood. I thought this was on like another shore or something. Yeah, no, I'm
No.
not
Can
going
I-
to.
Hey,
Thank you for the
Thank-
follow, Kyreek.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it.
Okay, brains. I need your weight and I need the rope.
They're yours.
Perfect. I now activate 3 of those completely waterproof snap to activate glow sticks, the industrial strength ones, and I tie them at certain lengths along, and then we try to find another lobster trap to throw this into.
I very carefully place myself behind Nathan, grabbing onto their shoulders and say, if there is a strong tug, you let go.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot one thing. I take out my keys, my house keys, and I take off my tile and attach it to the rope.
The tracking app thingy?
Uh-huh.
This thing removes branding pretty quick. I'm not sure electronics will work very well in whatever the fuck this is.
We'll find out.
Have fun.
It's inside, it's sealed, it's waterproof.
and either way, it's good information to have.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. Let's go. Um, you're gonna have a better luck getting it in there if somebody can try and toss it accurately in. So let's find another trap and see if we can't see where it goes.
Yeah. I've got 3 decks if anyone has better.
My Dex plus Athletics, which is explicitly throwing, is 6. Does anybody beat that?
I've only got 4. Debs also has 4.
All right. Well, do we see another trap anywhere around here?
Now that you know to look for them, you see them sporadically underwater. Some of them nearer to the shore than others. Within your field of view, you can pick out 15 or so.
All right. I'm going to try and shot put the weight at the end of the rope right into one.
All right. So, what is your intention here?
From what I gather, Lex is hoping that by attaching these lights to the rope and letting the cable just run out as it's pulled in, we might see where it's going and maybe get a better glimpse of what it is thanks to the light around it before whatever the ocean of fragments will do to physical objects gets done to them.
So, yeah. There are 3 lights on this, one at the far end with the weight, one in the middle, and one at the end that I'm holding that will be let go if it gets too far. But that should give us a sense of distance and depth as we watch. And tile doesn't need internet. It connects to other like things around it. So if there's any other down here or up slightly up above or in the same space uh topside, then hopefully it'll connect and give us a sense of where on the map this is in real space so we can find a closer Riverinian gate.
All right.
Was that too much? Sorry.
No, I think that's rather clever. I don't know if any of it's going to work, but sounds fun.
Me neither.
Let me shot put this thing in here for you. So that's going to be Dex plus Athletics. Not my best roll, but you know what? 6 ain't bad. And I don't think any of you guys can help me with throwing an object. One success is, as the meme says, a success.
So you pitch the weight with the light attached to it directly into one of the lobster traps. You don't wait very long before it is pulled to the sea, into the sea as well. With the light, you can see a little bit better at what's pulling the end of the rope. You can see, illuminated by the glow stick, the tip of a pale, rotting tentacle.
And that's why we don't go in there.
Please
That-
do not release the Kraken.
Also, what happened to the last guy?
Behind you, you hear a warm laugh. So, the three of you Sin Eaters come down here to pay tribute to Leviathan?
Honestly, we're exploring today. Is that what he's called?
The voice behind you says, yes, he is the Kerberos of this domain.
The Ocean of Fragments is a domain. That seems worth knowing. Ty flips open the notebook and writes that down, as well as everything the man just said. Sorry, I don't believe we've met. Ty Kinnison? Nice to meet you.
Behind you on the beach, there was nothing before. There is now a roaring bonfire over which uh, some of the fleshier Chthonians are roasting. Uh, the smell is not great, but it's food. You can definitely tell that.
Hey guys, remember that we got told that fighting Chthonians was a death wish and this man is eating them? Do not fuck with this man.
Yep.
Slowly turning the spit and roasting the Chthonian is a dark-skinned man with shaggy hair and beard. His face and arms are covered in various tattoos. Swirling, runic, half a dozen different types. He's wearing what appears to be the ragged remains of a kilt. He's also wearing mismatched sandals. One appears to be a croc, and the other appears to be an old Asian-style wooden shoe.
Like the Geta? Wooden...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He smiles at you with vivid white teeth.
May I ask what you're called, sir? And stupid question, is this a ghost or is this not a ghost? Because, like, someone this tough may very well be like us or some sort of necromancer.
Those who come down here have called me the Hermit, he says. I serve the purpose of the guardian of the ocean of fragments. Dominions each have a guardian, and I'm the one that guards these shores.
I do apologize for interrupting your day, though, but thank you for stopping by to say hello. Um,
Do you plan to go into the water?
mm, After seeing
No.
what happened to the last guy, definitely not.
Then I have no need to inform you of the old laws, he says, smiling.
May I know them anyways?
Suit yourself, Sin Eater, he says. Law 1. The ocean of fragments is the end of everything. Law 2. Only one boat may sail these waters. Law 3. Everything under the water belongs to Leviathan.
I take it the boat that's sailing these waters is currently out and active, possibly yours?
The uh the hermit laughs and shakes his head. No, the admiral and his freighter do what they wish. Uh you were already brought down here by one of his fleet, I believe.
The Admiral? Stupid question. Is the Admiral male or female?
Hmm. That is an interesting question, he says. I don't know. I believe that when seen them before, I've seen a man, I've seen a woman, I've seen a lot of differences, but I know it's the same person. He smiles. There's a lot of pieces of identity left in these waters. A lot for our ghosts to try on as they please.
And does the Admiral's ship ever dock at the shore?
He shrugs occasionally, usually when it's someone else is added to the fleet or when someone comes to join the crew. He does dock, or she does dock occasionally uh, to do business with those who might come to purchase some pieces of identity.
How
Okay.
much is a piece of identity?
The hermit shrugs again. The admiral pays for things that tickle their fancy and does not pay for others.
Fair enough.
I was more wondering about buying them.
Memories, fragments of identity, those sorts of things are what the admiral trades in.
Okay.
Noted. Uh, Sorry for taking up your time. It's lovely to meet you, Mr. Hermit, sir. Um, I'm afraid we do have to be getting home now. I've been out for a few more hours than I expected, and
Sorry, I have just one more question. Is the Admiral a Sin Eater?
They may have been once upon a time. I don't know.
Thank you for your time.
So, three of you, you're going home?
4.
Four of you, you're going home?
Yes.
Where do you come from?
uh,
I'm guessing by the accents you're somewhere in the new world.
yes, Colorado up by the mountains.
Whispering Peaks, if you've heard of it.
Are you, are you familiar with the Rocky Mountains?
Oh, yes, I've heard the name of that town before. It's a festering wound in the underworld, a cursed place.
Yeah, we're hoping to fix that.
Well, just so you know, that wouldn't be enough to fix this, he says, waving his hands around. There are many such wounds in the mortal world.
Yeah, but this one is ours, so it's our responsibility.
He looks you up and down, each of you in turn, and chuckles knowingly to himself. Oh, it's very much your responsibility.
I reach into my pocket and pull out the secondary lunch I packed. Brain kind of spinning out a little bit. Look like you haven't had a different change of flavor in a while. Here.
He takes it happily and smiles at you one last time. It's always good to pay tribute to the elder dead, boy.
Of course.
He throws a handful of sand onto his fire, causing a puff of smoke to burst outwards. When it disappears, the fire and the hermit are gone.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Um,
go catch a ride back to the surface and try not to shit myself about the fact that we've run into 3 major scary things in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, this is obviously an incredibly dumb leap of logic, guys, but remember that knife said something about. Never mind. It's stupid.
What?
Screamer's down here looking for his captain, his admiral, something like that. I can't remember what it said on the knife.
Yep.
It would be a wild coincidence. But I don't really believe in coincidences anymore.
Just to go ahead and refresh your memory, you were talking about the dagger from Captain Goldsmith,
Thank you.
correct?
That's the one. I couldn't remember precisely which title they had. Just
the the more concerning bit about that exchange for me was the fact that he looked us over. Oh, thank you for the follow.
Thank you. Greatly
Uh,
appreciate it.
thank you for following us, lover boy.
the more concerning thing to me is that he, after looking us over, he reaffirmed that it is definitely our responsibility.
Yeah,
Meaning, I think we're tied to this bit more deeply than just being sin eaters in the area.
I am. Ty looks down, screws up his courage, and looks back up at Ethan. I think we're the only ones who can fix this because we were supposed to die and get tied up into the sacrifice. I don't think we dodged it. I just think we're tied up wrong. And I don't know why I think that. But it feels right. Alright, so do we want to wrap up here as we wait for the bus? Because we do need to get stuff through the aspirations and similar.
Yep.
Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about before we go?
Yeah, I think we're good here unless anyone has anything else they want to do.
I have a Kazi.
Hi,
That's what I want to talk.
In the distance, you see you see another ferry pulling out of one of the mouths of the many rivers. apparently seeing someone on the dock. Uh, the ferry sails its way over to the dock and waits for your patronage.
We
And here's
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna say here's where we close unless you have something else to do.
No.
I just
All
want to
right,
make it
so
very clear that we pay.
Yes. Yes.
throw in the bus fare and get on the bus.
all right, so let's do everyone's aspirations.
All right, get scouted for college hockey. Made a pretty big step for that because I'm moving us up into the big competitive part of the game. Hopefully that will get some scouts out to come look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to put the Undertaker underground. I have gotten a lot of really useful information. Also, this entire quest is getting information from D. So, like, I think I did a lot towards that. In a handbasket. We went to hell.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. I got some water. We looked for Screamer. 5 out of 5, everyone.
Hey.
Congrats. Who's next?
David, do you want to go?
Yeah. Okay. So get out of Whispering Peaks. Uh, we went to the underworld.
You could argue you succeeded. I don't think that the Ocean of
You know what?
Fragments is under Whispering Peaks.
Yeah, actually, can I step and clear that?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. Alrighty. That's 13 beats there.
Strictly technically.
Okay. And then world record speed run. I literally did a 12-hour stream for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 hell and back. We managed to go to hell and get out with successfully. So,
Hooray! All right, are you done?
yep.
All right,
All right.
next.
That leaves me. Get to know Josie. I think I've taken a step on that for talking to Myrtle about George.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Drill the hole. We did get more necromantic knowledge today.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I changed this one halfway through session because I realized what going to the ocean meant, and I had this in my head as a beach episode, so I was like, "Oh, I'll get wet," but I changed it to "Don't get wet" before we got there. So I hope that counts. And I did not get wet.
Fair enough.
Help a friend. I think we did that. Just
Mm-hmm.
straight on through. Looking for Screamer, helping the kitten lady, helping Blue Trunks.
Yeah.
Helping the scary guy at the end there. And grow the crew. I definitely think we took a step towards that.
All righty, and 3 beats for everybody. And I think that closes us out.
Hell yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for coming to watch us. We're always happy to have some folks show up, and it's nice to see we've gotten a few more followers too. Thanks again. So, good night, everybody, and see you in 2 weeks.